Not long ago, I was a corporate sales director, unknown, overlooked, no network, and unfulfilled. But when I discovered the power of personal branding, storytelling, and confidence, everything changed. I went from being invisible to a two-time best-selling author, international TEDx speaker, and top global podcast host, reaching thousands every year. And I want the same transformation for you to be seen, heard, and recognized as the thought leader you truly are. From TEDx stages to top podcasts and even TV segments, I help entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers amplify their message and build unshakable confidence. Visit bestbranding.solutions and let's build your dream together. What if the secret to success wasn't just talent or hard work, but unshakable confidence? Welcome to Grasp Confidence, the podcast where visionary thought leaders, speakers, and entrepreneurs unlock the mindset and strategies for lasting success. I'm your host, Tara LaFawn Gooch, CEO, two-time best-selling author, and international TEDx speaker, and I can't wait to help you step into the most powerful version of yourself. Let's dive in. Have you ever looked at a glove without a hand inside of it? It's flimsy, it's floppy, it has a shape, it has a form, but it's lifeless. Now, what would happen if you slid your hand inside of the glove? All of the sudden, the glove comes alive. It's fulfilling what it was made to do. It's operating in its purpose. Now, think about that. That's us, right? You and I were made in the divine image of God. We're image bearers, like a glove designed for the hand. But unless God's Spirit fills us, we may look whole, but we're not fully alive. We're not fully operating in our purpose, are we? We're not fulfilled. We're lacking purpose. This is so timely because so many people right now, a lot of the listeners to this podcast are searching for our purpose, aren't we? We're searching for meaning in life. We're searching for fulfillment. And there's whole industries behind this. There's endless amount of resources online, self-help, they call it, right? How to find your purpose and these many steps, how to align with your purpose, how to find your calling. And all of that's well-intentioned. But so much of it is lacking a true depth of meaning to it. It's lacking the one true way we can unlock our purpose as image bearers of the one true God. Until we invite God in our lives and live in His Word, we are that glove without a hand in it. Now, the glove still has a purpose. It's just not living in its purpose, operating in its original design. A glove was not designed to operate by itself. It just is not fulfilling its role. It's not fulfilling its purpose and calling, what it was designed and made for. It was designed and made for a hand to go inside of it, wasn't it? So just like that glove, we are the same way. Without God, we are that glove without a hand. We are operating in a place lacking of purpose. So think about it because, again, so many of us right now are searching. We're searching for a deeper meaning in life. We're searching for a purpose. We are questioning what our next step is. We're questioning why we were created. We're questioning a lot of things. But we're forgetting that it's not about steps or systems. It's about bringing God into your life and living in His Word. That is what it is all about. And when you bring God into your life and live in His Word, you're no longer the lifeless glove. You are an image bearer who's aligned with their purpose of why God designed them, their unique calling. There was a time when I barely spoke about my faith, but this year I decided to be bolder than ever. God placed a calling on my life, and when I finally embraced it, doors opened. From best-selling books to stages, I found the confidence to walk in His purpose. Now I want the same for you. At the From Calling to Confidence Christian Women's Retreat, you'll discover clarity, deepen your faith, and gain the courage to step into your God-given calling. This is happening in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico on January 16th through 19th, 2026. And ladies, we have 3 spots left. That's it. So when they're gone, they are gone. Reserve yours today and visit taralafangooch.com/retreat for more information. So I think this is especially pertinent today because I do get a lot of questions from our listeners about purpose. And of course, as many of you know, I try to be bold about my faith. I am a follower of Christ. I believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. I believe that we are made in the divine image of God, but I believe that we are going to be lacking in fulfillment and purpose unless we have God in our lives. So I want you to think about it this way today. You know, when you think about purpose, and if this is something you're searching for in your life, I want you to ask a question: are you letting God in? And if there's a space in your life right now where, you know, that maybe that space is growing, maybe it's a spiritual space. Maybe you're spiritually thirsty, or spiritually hungry, and you have a craving, a yearning, a desire to learn more, but you're not sure where to start. The first step is having a relationship with God, developing a relationship with God, communicating with God. Of course, you know, that's through prayer, but prayer is something that doesn't cease. It's not something you do once a day. I constantly talk to God, constantly, all day long. I have conversations, right? And when you're constantly living with the belief, the faith that God is within you right now, you don't have to go find God. God is already within you. You just need to start opening up a conversation gateway, right? You realize that the purpose was never something that you lost. The purpose was something that you just needed to remember. And the only way you remember that purpose is when you develop a relationship. A relationship when you have God inside of you, not something that you search for God. God is already within you. When you make that realization, it is a complete game changer. You go from feeling like God is somewhere in some distant place to understanding that God is an untapped source of infinite potential, infinite energy, infinite wisdom that you can talk to and touch and communicate with all day long. You start to really operate in a space of purpose, and it's a beautiful thing. So I encourage everyone today, if this is something that you are searching for, if you think maybe even purpose is lost, right? Something that where it's waiting activation, right? It's it's already there and it's waiting for your activation to allow God in your life. Again, He is already there. It's already present. You don't have to go searching for it. When we are a glove that becomes filled with God, what was always meant to be will be. I think that's important. It will happen. It's a switch. It will turn on. And it's nothing that you have to complete some program or some course to figure out. Just allow God into your life and start praying, start communicating, right? Start living in His Word, not only reading scripture, but applying it in your life. Asking yourself before you do anything, is this something that Jesus would do? Is this godlike? And if it's not godlike, don't do it. And it's you becoming the mirror of your own actions and intentions, right? When you become to where you are looking at yourself in the mirror, not in the lens of judgment, right? We're not talking about judgment, but looking at your own actions and saying, is this Christ-like? And you do that enough, you will absolutely start to align with your purpose. And I do, if we're thinking of analogies, I like metaphors. I've always likened purpose to a road as well. It's a road. The road may sometimes have obstacles on it, right? If you think about a road that you're driving on, occasionally there's potholes, isn't there? Occasionally there's sticks in the road or bumps in the road or obstructions. Sometimes it's foggy and you can't really see that far ahead of you. Sometimes it could be a little confusing in the dark when the light's not on, can't it? But the road is there. Sometimes we may veer off the road, even for an extended period of time. But the road remains. All we have to do is get back on the road, don't we? And if we stay on the road long enough, the obstructions will go away eventually, the fog will clear, and our destination will get closer. You can't argue with that logic, right? So the road is always there. The road to purpose is always something that we can get back on. And it's important to know this because we can sometimes feel like we've lost our way, we've lost our purpose. But it's not that it's lost. It's just that for some time, maybe we, again, didn't strengthen that relationship with God. We didn't seek Him out. We didn't invite Him into our lives. So we veered off of the road and the road to purpose became bumpy or foggy. And that's okay. We can always get back on the road. And I want you to think about this as a spiritual anchor. In Genesis 1:27, it says, "So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female, He created them." We're made in the image of God. So what about being in the image of something makes us feel like if we are absent from it, we can be successful? Right? So think about it that way. Think about it that way. And I want to ask each one of you, where in your life are you like the glove? You're full of potential, but waiting for God's hand to move? And what happens when you allow Him to fill you? What would happen if you allowed Him to fill you today? Do you think you would gain more clarity on your purpose? Do you think it would be easier for you to get back on the road to purpose? Do you think you would feel more fulfilled in your role in life, more aligned with your calling and your original design of what God made you to be in His image? And again, there's so many instances in the Bible. We think about Jeremiah and how it says that when we were formed in the womb, God knew us and set us apart. That setting apart, that is being set apart in purpose, for a purpose. And we think about it in Psalms as well, when King David said that The Lord knew him before he was even formed substance. That shows us that God and your relationship with God, is the oldest relationship you and I and any of us have ever had. He has known you since before you were formed substance in your mother's womb. No one knows you as well as your Heavenly Father, and you're created in the image of Him, which means that you are born with a purpose. You're born with a beautiful design for a specific reason. And if we deepen our relationship with God and allow God to fill us, just as the glove analogy, we will be operating in a place of purpose and be able to accomplish so much more in life with so much less strife, with so much less challenges and adversities. And it doesn't mean we won't have challenges and adversities. That's okay. The challenges and adversities that come in our life do not mean we should be derailed from purpose. It simply means that we are being refined for our biggest purpose, the thing that we were made to do. And without those challenges and adversities, we wouldn't be as prepared and as ready. Don't you see? In the Bible, there's an illustration of us being refined like silver that I want to share with you. And if you go to a silversmith and you ask them about their process, what are they going to tell you? Well, they're going to tell you that they take this silver and they put it in the hottest part of the flame, right in the center. And this is to burn away impurities. It's to burn away impurities. So our adversities that come up in our lives are just that. They're just burning away impurities. Again, refining us, right? Making us stronger, more beautiful, more prepared, more resilient. But it's important to note that the silversmith knows when the silver is finished. When the silversmith can see his image in it, that's when he knows, or she, whoever the silversmith is, that's when they know when the silver is ready, when they can see their image in it. Think about that. We are image bearers of God. We already have a purpose. And these adversities that we go through, that is only so we can refine our purpose and be prepared for what's to come. The last time I checked, nobody in the Bible had it completely easy their whole lives. Think about King David, right? King David, oh my gosh, he was the youngest of all of his brothers. He was the shepherd boy. Nobody believed in him. Nobody thought he would amount to anything. And when the prophet Samuel came to select the next king of Israel, he wasn't even presented. He was overlooked. He had adversities, plenty of them. And think about a young boy going up to a giant in the Philistine army, Goliath. Do you think anybody thought he would win, honestly? They lacked faith, so of course they didn't believe he would win. But David didn't lack faith. Why? Because he was an image bearer who lived in the Word and had a direct relationship with God, frequently communicating to God, allowing God to live inside of him like a glove with the hand in it. This is why he was chosen. The Lord chose David because David was someone after God's own heart, it says in scripture. It doesn't mean he was perfect. He made plenty of mistakes. He sinned a lot. he had a lot of he had a lot of issues. We think about the story of Bathsheba and him sinning with her and then eventually killing her husband, Uriah, an innocent man, a good man. He was not perfect. And there were times when his relationship with God was not as strong as it could have been. He edged God out quite frequently in his leadership journey, in his journey of life. He edged God out, right? He had ego. He had other things that he was dealing with. He was not a perfect person. But the point is that God does not look for perfect people. He looks for people just like you and me. And he believes in us. He did not create you an image bearer to lack purpose. He created you to make something in his name with your life. He created you to change the world in your own way. You are not called to be ordinary. You are not called to blend in. You were called and set apart. And that doesn't mean it's going to be easy all the time. But it will mean it's going to be well worth the reward, my friends. When you live in this way, when you operate at a space of intense, deep purpose, the fulfillment is off the charts. The love is off the charts. The faith is off the charts. We could each be the next King David. How often in our lives have we felt like him as a boy, overlooked, undervalued, underappreciated? That didn't take away his purpose. That just made it an extremely great story. Very inspirational. All of these years later, 3,000 years later, incredible. And we're still looking to him as a source of inspiration in our own lives. So God does not look at your bank account. He does not look at your credentials. He does not look at your accolades. He does not look at your degrees or your certifications. He does not look at what you've done. He looks to your heart. And if you have a heart that wants to let God into it, purpose will find you, my friends. Purpose will find you. So you don't need to go find purpose. You just need to let God in your heart and he will do the rest of the work. Isn't that relaxing? Isn't that enjoyable? Doesn't that sound very attainable for us all? That the answer is not striving more or working more. It's surrendering. God does the work if we allow him in our hearts. So stop trying to do all the work and all of the things when all you need to do is open the door. And it will find you, your deepest purpose, your reason for being. And once you find that purpose, everything good that you can imagine will happen in your life. Your business will grow, your opportunities will grow, your success will grow. People are naturally attracted to someone who is aligned with purpose and calling. It's a beautiful thing. It says that you are competent doesn't it? And competence breeds confidence. So, purpose is not some North Star. It's not something that is reserved for a few and not all. We all have it. And we just need to get back onto the road of purpose. We can do that at any point in time. God is always reaching down his hand so that you grab it. The question is, will you be willing to surrender? So don't do it without delay here. I don't want you to delay. I want you to do it urgently. I want this to be something that you seek out immediately in your life. Because ultimately, tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. So it's important in this life that we seek out God, we let him into our hearts, and we operate at a place of purpose. The reason this is important to me is I, at one point in time in my life, felt like I was lacking purpose. I felt like I didn't have purpose in my life. I was questioning it. And through a lot of work, inner work and clarity and self-discovery as well, I found my purpose. And I really found my purpose when I developed a relationship with God, when I deepened my faith, when I started surrendering. That's when I found my deepest calling. And the beautiful thing about this is it's very much like an onion. An onion has so many layers, doesn't it? And every single day we're living in our purpose. We peel back those layers and it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And we become more confident. We become stronger. We become more competent as well. God will do so much of the work if we just surrender and let him into our lives. I hope this episode was a source of inspiration and transformation for you as well. I would love to know your favorite takeaway from this episode. Feel free to send me a message. Let me know in a review if you would like what your favorite takeaway was from this episode. I would love to hear from you so that I can keep producing content that touches your heart and ultimately leads you closer to your God-given calling with confidence. I will see you on the next episode. Take care.